Welcome back. You're still watching Power Breakfast right here on Citizen TV. Of course, beautiful music by Carlos Kiba. You'll keep on enjoying that music as the show continues. We're here with Senator Beatrice Elachi, Senate Majority Whip, also an aspirant for the Dagoretti North Parliamentary seat, Jonathan Mweke, Deputy Governor Nairobi, and Mudhomi Njuki, MP Chuka Egamba-Ng'ombe, also aspiring to be the next Governor for Tharaka Nithi County. Looking at the headlines, now we want to look at politics. And it's what is headlining on both the Daily Nation and the Standard. Uhuru shakes up Raila's coast staff. Tana River Governor, Senator and Woman Rep ditch Wiper for Jubilee. Now Wiper there suffering a huge defeat. On the Standard it reads President Kenyatta and his deputy Ruto received 2 governors, 3 deputies, 9 MPs and scores of MCAs who defected from the opposition at a rally in Mombasa. That's huge. This is proper shedding. This is hemorrhage. This is when you start getting worried. Bwana Mweke, surely. And in a short while, I'll be showing you the reaction by the Wiper Party leader, because he also addressed a rally in Malindi and responded directly to that. But surely, you should be getting worried about this. 2 governors, 3 deputies, 9 members of parliament. I'm sure you've been dismissing these other defections, but will you even dismiss these ones?
You know, it's not dismissing. I always like sometimes to use fact. You know, they say actually there's a very, very old bishop, St. Augustine, who died in the year 430. And he said the truth is like a lion. You never have to defend it. You just let it loose and it defends itself. These defectors that the Standard is talking about and that were paraded yesterday in Tononoka, how many times can you defect? I mean, they paraded Mungaro seriously defected 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. They paraded him as a defector. They paraded Shabal as a defector who left Wiper 3.5 years ago. They paraded, you know, people who've been defecting years and years ago, Mwashetani and those other people. And now they say there's 15 people. Really, the only people that the president received yesterday who defected to Jubilee is Hussein Dado, Wiper's governor in Tana River, and the women rep of Tana River. The senator is not Wiper, so that is a misinformation. And if you ask me who's in Wiper, we have never enjoyed those 2 people while they were elected on our party, and while we really wanted to work with them as leaders from the coast. We never enjoyed their support. We never enjoyed their input. They never came to most of our meetings. I'll tell you, the governor of Tana River never contributed a single shilling. You know, we contribute as legislators, as elected leaders, every month to the party, towards the running of the party. He, even as a governor who's supposed to contribute 50,000 shillings a month, has never contributed anything. Neither has his deputy, neither has the women rep. So for us, our party leader Kalonzo was right. He left Wiper a long time ago, and we really didn't enjoy his company as a Wiper governor. So it becomes inconsequential. You are there, but you are not there. So when you leave, we don't miss you.
Senator, do you agree with the deputy governor that these defections are inconsequential? Now we've seen 2 governors at least defect, Governor Mvurya for Kwale, now is Hussein Dado from Tana River, to Jubilee from the opposition. Now I know in Kwale he was from ODM, not Wiper, but now when Wiper loses a governor, how many governors do you have, by the way?
4.
4. Yes. So now 1 has gone.
And we also gained 1. We gained Kivuda Kibwana. Yeah. So 1 + 1 - 1 is 1. Well,
and Mutua left them long ago anyway. And decided even to move
out of 4
to eat more in their ground.
We gained 1.
So now you have 3.
Yeah. But before my friend Beatrice just answers, you know, we've seen this before. We've seen Nkaiseri defect to Jubilee, be appointed one of the most powerful cabinet ministers. He left alone. Memusi came and won that seat even after himself, Nkaiseri, he disobeyed the Public Officers Act as a cabinet secretary and went and even campaigned for our opponent in TNA or JAP, then as it was. And Memusi, a young man, just won on an ODM ticket. The same thing with My friend Dan Kazungu in Malindi, he defected, went into Jubilee, and he went by himself, one person. So if you do the mathematics here, these are 15 people. But CORD had about 100,000 more votes than Jubilee
despite the defections.
Despite the defections. So if you do 100,000 minus 15, I think we have 99,985 more votes ahead of Jubilee.
So the ground has not shifted for Wiper?
No. I want to tell, first I want to thank the people of Coast Province, because now politics is a playing ground of every party can go there and play their politics and get out. That is one thing. And I want to tell my deputy governor that today Kenyans are the ones who are making their leaders shift. You know, there were days where we had control. Politicians believed they had control on the people. But I want to tell him today I appreciate Kenyans. They have started to realize we are the ones who vote these people. We are the ones who will tell them when time comes, this we don't want. And that is one thing in Coast. Because by the time the president, 2013, we go to Coast, look at what the president got. You could not even talk about Jubilee. I remember, I will not say the names, at one point, and it was very sad. A leader from Coast, we are seated somewhere in a meeting, and he said, you know, to tell our president, it's like kuuza nguruwe kwa watu wetu. But today I want to thank the Coast people, because that narrative has changed. That the president can go there and walk in and people will appreciate. They will thank him. They will come on the roads. In 2013 that did not happen. So I want to tell my deputy governor, don't be lied to. The ground has shifted.
Yes.
And what Jubilee we are looking for is a +1. And I want to remind him, the +1 Uhuru got was only 8,000. So don't, politics is numbers. What we are looking is +1. And we are saying that +1, we will get it from Coast, from Western. That's how politics work. And we will ensure. Now, if he wants to know that even Nairobi, people who voted for them are the ones who are going to decide who will be the governor.
Yes.
Because everyone is disappointed. So it's not the money. It's not how people want services. By the way, Kenyans are now very enlightened. What they want is a leader who can give you services.
And I can see Bonamweke wants to react to that. But before we come to you, but Mudomi Njuki, of course, now this means that Coast we can now refer to Coast as a battleground, because initially it was a CORD zone, the last election. Now it should be moving to the next election. Everyone thought now that's an opposition stronghold, if we could refer to it as that. But now it appears it is a battleground, and that's why all leaders yesterday, in fact, the opposition alliance was hoping to have a parallel rally at Mvita. Yes, and it did not get to happen. But seeing all these leaders troop to the Coast, does it mean now it is open, it is a battleground? We cannot say that it is opposition, neither can we say it is a Jubilee stronghold.
I wouldn't like to look at Coast as an exclusion, as in Coast as per se, those particular about three counties. I like the way Mweke is putting on a very brave face. It's expected, of course, because when you try to only defend the Wiper, because we talk about the bigger picture of NASA, not really the Wipers per se, because they are one and the same thing, and you would rather look at the numbers that defected yesterday, but not the ones that defected before. But you know, this is cumulative. You know, you're losing numbers, even if it's in small bits, but the long-term effect is that you lose everyone. That's basically it looks like. And as much as you want to look at that as a amber zone in terms of, you know, not green, not red, I think the ground is shifting so fast that very soon Coast is going to be green, all of it. And this is normally influenced mostly by the neighbors. If you look at what is happening in the northeastern frontier, the other day, the Wajir, we just had Eden Kedan, who is a very, very seasoned politician, and Elmi, defecting Jubilee. That is an extension of the Coast, as per se. And looking at what you're saying at the moment, In Mombasa in particular, everything below Joho, the woman rep I've seen now, there's a serious threat by a model who has come in, and of course she's not in NASA, she's in Jubilee. I have seen a whole deputy governor. We are not even mentioning that. You know, when your deputy governor moves, you can imagine now if Mweke moved away from Kidero in Nairobi, the whole of Ukambani moves with him. So I do not see in the next few days really NASA holding in coast if we continue with the same wave.
Wow. Could this be blamed on your own divisions in the opposition at the coast? Because you know, especially in Mombasa, Wiper and ODM are already at crossroads. They're going parallel ways. Hassan Omar wants to be governor. Joho is on the seat. Surely, you could blame yourselves as the opposition alliance.
You know, just look at the history. In 2013, Hassan Omar stood against Vice Chairman of ODM Kajembe for the senatorial post. A Jubilee person didn't get the seat. Hassan Omar did. Joho stood against Shabal, who was in Wiper. The TNA person didn't get the seat. Joho did, so it stayed within CORD. Jubilee for senator had put in Balala, right? Balala was a principal in Jubilee alongside the president, the deputy president, and the former cabinet secretary Ngilu. Balala came number 3, even as being a principal in whatever. To me, what that tells me is really there was no Jubilee at all in Mombasa. And now there's nothing different that they have done to warrant Jubilee. So I can explain this because, you know, politicians, people come to listen to politicians for different reasons. Like for us, when we're able to go to Eldoret 64 Stadium as NASA, all those people from that region came to 64 Stadium because they have never witnessed history, how 4 leading opposition leaders can come together for one cause, putting their egos and their differences aside just to serve Kenyans. So for them it was something so spectacular that they had to leave their homes and their stations
not necessarily
to come and see.
votes.
Exactly. No,
Let me tell you why, because that's your argument. You're saying even the crowd
I'll tell you. So they came to witness history for a good thing. That you know what, if these guys can stay together, we have hope. Now, you know, when myself and Governor Kidero call a rally in Nairobi, we go to Kamkunji grounds. People come because they're like, these are different politicians. They gave us a manifesto, said they'll do 7 things. They've done those 7 things. Let's go and see these very different kind of human beings who can actually deliver for us. So people come to see these things. Now, when the president goes to Tononoka, the people of Mombasa have never seen an angry president. So they came in their droves just to see.
Are you saying this crowd will just show up?
How does a president, an angry president, look like? So these guys came to see a very angry president, so they can be able to witness for themselves. First time ever, how an angry president looks like.
Let me tell you, Deputy Governor, can you be also angry in Nairobi and stop your young people who are now helpless, have decided they can land on lands in Karen? You need to be angry. You need to face young people in Nairobi.
Are we now saying that our leaders need to be angry for things to happen?
If he says that way,
it's the wrong kind of leadership.
There is something very wrong, not just with the president then, even with them governors. Because even them, everyone is, when they speak, people wonder what the hell has just happened. So for me, as we look at our president, who is even asking himself, we have a very good constitution where if they were working together, 47 governors with the President of the Republic of Kenya, Kenya would move. We will not have young people alcoholic, first of all in Nairobi, who their work is to beat people, to go into a meeting, disrupt a meeting, and yet we have a governor and my deputy here who collect 1.8 billion a month, who can be able to give young people to just do landscaping from the airport to our town and clean and have something than going to do what they are doing today.
I don't want the convention to change.
I'm not changing. I was just trying to tell him that anger now, what people feel is that anger. But then we go to this. I want to tell my deputy governor, you know, in politics, even if you say this is okay, I'll agree with you. For me, I always say in analysis of a rally like this, 5% would be your vote. But then go back and ask yourself, by the time these people will come here, I think people have worked a door-to-door campaign to come and tell, and look at, both of them have a leader and their supporter. You need to be asking yourself, how many leaders are these who are able to crowd Tononoka? Do you know there were days it was only Raila who would be able to do this? Let me be honest. You know, it's good to give kudos where it belongs. But if today this is Uhuru, don't ignore.
But yet Jubilee leaders always say those Raila's rallies, however well attended they are, it never translates into votes. Should we look at these crowds the same way, that even though the president and his deputy managed to fill up Tononoka grounds, that it does not necessarily interpret?
In Mombasa, he filled and he got the votes.
You know,
so it used to translate into votes.
Someone told me the other day, and I really believe it. If I gave you 5 million Kenya shillings today, and I told you fill up this place here called Uhuru Park, and on Saturday, you'll do it. Because all you need to just mobilize people, right? It depends on how you use the money to mobilize them. But really, when they get there, what is the mood? Because that's the most important thing. Because you gauge the effectiveness of this mobilization by the mood of the people when you get there. First of all, I want to dispel what...
so it is possible that this crowd could have been mobilized?
Mobilization is obvious, but you also need to have what is the mood of the people when you get there. And I want to tell you the mood, because I want to compare with what Deputy Governor of Nairobi has said about the 64 Stadium and vis-a-vis this. You are looking at people who have come to see what NASA is doing. But how many of their leaders, you see the leaders of Washingisho and Rift Valley were there. You know, because people lead their people. You know, leaders lead their people. And therefore, there's no way you can have a rally like that in Eldoret. We do not have any leader from Eldoret, and you expect that these people will eventually vote for the NASA. Looking at Tononoka, how many leaders were there from Coast who really had come with the people and cheered them, you know, and listened to their speeches? And eventually we had defections, and you can read the mood by the people. It's not just defections that have been arranged, because we have defections all the way up to even the MCS. That means it's becoming very effective, and that is something to fear about. But if they want to bury their heads in the sand, it's not really bad for us.
Well, about the defections,
why did the police cancel Joho's rally?
Well, obviously,
they gave the reason that there was another prayer meeting by Prophet Ward. That's the reason they gave. I do not know, but that's the reason they gave. They said they were overwhelmed by the rally in Tononoka and the prayer meeting.
It makes a lot of sense.
Well, whether it does, I leave
but
it to
why did NASA want to have another rally when there's another bigger rally taking place? Because that's a conflict. You know, you want to make the security forces really have a very tough job, and you want maybe these funds and supporters to start having a clash against each other.
Okay.
Anyway, all the time here in Nairobi, where Jubilee has a rally at Uhuru Park, CORD has a rally at Nyayo Stadium, and
I'm sure
people are able to,
as we head closer to the elections, of course,
I think
more of those parallel rallies will happen.
Yeah, but I think why they cancelled Joho's rally is because Joho would have taken away from this crowd. And that's why they did it.
Well,
when I saw him coming from the US, I did not see a crowd that I have ever seen with him before. So don't tell me you would have taken. He would have given us that comeback.
Anyway, about 100 kilometers away yesterday, about 100 kilometers away from Tononoka grounds, the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka held another rally, and he responded to these defections happening at Tononoka. Let's watch his reaction.
NASA co-principal Kalonzo Musyoka was in Malindi to drum up support for the opposition, as news trickled in that several party politicians, including Tana River Governor Hussein Dado and Woman Representative Halima Ware, had decamped to Jubilee. Kalonzo dismissed Jubilee's onslaught, saying those who have decamped to Jubilee are losers.
Nataka nizungumze wakati huu tukizungumza Uhuru na Ruto wako Tononoka. Wana maarufu wa kunyakua viongozi ambao tayari wamekwisha. Wamemchukua gavana wa Wiper na wanaona huo ni kama umaarufu. Governor Dado, huyo alienda kitambo na leo tumewakabidhi wao officially.
And just because a few people moved roho za pwani bado ziko kwa upinzani mpaka siku ile itaona kuna serikali itaweza kuleta haki. Tarehe 8 wa mwaka huu, August, the first casualties watakuwa ni hawa jamaa ambao wamegura kwenda Jubilee. Nipe Wiper!
The Wiper leader saying the party will field stronger candidates in the area to replace those that have defected.
Hebu elekezeni mikono Tana River namna hii. Sema Tana River Wiper! Tana River Wiper! Huyo dado ameenda na tayari kijana ambaye ni mashuhuri, Dr. Nur, anatayarisha makaratasi haraka ili dado aende nyumbani, ama sivyo? Kwa hivyo wao wanachukua wengine ambao wanaogopa ile pesa wameiba na wanakuwa synonymous na Jubilee.
Yes, that was the reaction by the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Of course, you are reading from the same script that yes, our Amanda, not much of a problem. But surely for the party leader to address and take time to address those defections, and a lot of time, it's the same thing we could say about Jubilee and the president, because the president also took quite a lot of time to speak at or to address the governor of Mombasa during his rally, and that's also something else we'll discuss. But for the Wiper Party leader to also talk about defectors in that way, it must hurt quite a lot. Don't you agree?
Well, you've seen my party leader and myself are speaking from the same script. We're reading from the same page, because it's true. I mean, if somebody has come, he says he's in your party, never shows up for any meetings, doesn't contribute, doesn't add another value. They left a long time ago. And if they left a long time ago, they're inconsequential. But I'll tell you a story about Tana River. About a year ago, the party leader was on a tour of Tana River. And because our governor of Tana River was absent, he decided to go and give himself shughuli ingine, other things, while his own party leader was there. But when the party leader went and was hosted by this Dr. Nur he's talking about, and he saw all the clan elders, and you know the clans make the decisions there, all the opinion shapers, even the deputy governor was there. The governor left whatever he was doing, flew to that place, cancelled all his meetings, even had to fly with the party leader back out, because he saw that really I'm feeling like I'm in charge here, but really the person in charge here is Wiper, and Wiper is Kalonzo Musyoka. So he had to come back and save his political his political life. Now August 8th is 5 months away. Let's see if the governor will be able to come back on a Jubilee.
Did you see pain on the face of Kalonzo Musyoka while he's addressing the defections?
A lot of pain. A lot of pain, and the sad part is when you talk of corruption, then I ask myself, what were you doing with the governor when you know he's corrupt? You're saying you want to clean corruption as NASA, yet your governor, you come out clearly and tell us he's corrupt. It is very sad.
Okay. Bwana Mijuki?
Well, he may have tried to disguise that clearly it's visible that it's something to worry about. It's about that fruit that you can't be able to get to, then we say it's not even ripe. You know. But I want to address the issue of the perceived anger by the president, because I don't see what Kalonzo was doing would have been very, very different. This issue about anger, when the president expresses himself in a tough way, why is it perceived as anger? Because really, there is no prescription on how you should be able to talk in public about something you're not satisfied. But
when you're angry, it's rather obvious, Bwana Mijuki. We're not saying on one hand you say he's human and he's allowed to have experience those emotions. On the other hand, you want to say he was not angry?
I didn't see any anger in Mombasa. I saw someone who was tough, who was on point. About the one of Turkana, it may have been an incident where he said, I'll say it as it is. And at the end of the day, I want to tell the people that it's not all about votes. It's about also humanity, you know, because we have to treat each other with respect, despite the fact that maybe we want votes, as per se. We cannot trod on everything because we want votes. There is life after votes.
You know, Fred, let's leave the politics aside. Jubilee, NASA, let's leave the politics aside. Let's talk about leadership. You know, somebody is a leader because they lead people. The president got 6+ million votes. Half of this country, +1, look up to him for leadership. Now, yes, you can show some emotion, some passion as a leader when you want to get things done, and you've seen world leaders being able to do that. You saw the leader of Singapore, the late Lee, do that. You see sometimes President Kagame doing that when you want to be firm. But it's very different when a leader, especially a head of state, abuses another elected leader, calls him a devil and a fool. What that is saying, because again you have followers and followers look up to you, what that is saying is any one of those 6 million people can now go and not like their opponent and call them a devil, a fool. It's wrong. From a leadership standpoint, it's wrong. However, I hate my opponent, me myself, as just a deputy governor, several steps below a president. There's no way I can go and call my opponent, who's been elected by people, a devil or a fool.
Okay.
That's just wrong.
Senator, because I need us to connect that conversation with what is happening or is going to happen today in Mombasa. The president is expected to preside over the reopening of Mtongwe Ferry today. Yes. Now, yesterday, as I said earlier, the president in his speech appeared to address quite a lot the governor of Mombasa, even calling him Sultan and all those things. Now, we do understand that Governor Johor said he will attend that launch of that reopening of Mtongwe Ferry and is looking to respond directly to the attacks by the president. That reopens the kind of fight we saw happening last time when the president was in Mombasa and was opening a bridge and a few other projects, and the governor was there, and the spat that took place. But that after the break.